Today I will discuss the Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's current law, Kirchhoff's voltage law. So here, first I will discuss what is the necessity of these laws to learn. Then we go to the what are the subjects that are developed because of these laws. Then we discuss about the definition of these laws, and also I will discuss few problems based on these laws. So first, what is the necessity of these laws? So for electrical and electronics engineering, the pillars of the engineering there are only three laws. One is Ohm's law, the other is Kirchhoff's current law. This is also called Kirchhoff's first law. There is another name for this, conservation of electric charge theorem. Means it depends upon the conservation of electric charge. Next, the third one is Kirchhoff's voltage law. This is also called Kirchhoff's second law, and it depends upon the conservation of electric energy. Next, with these laws, based on these laws, there are three subjects which are developed for electronics and electrical engineering. The first one is field theory, the second one is network theory, the other one is measurements. So based on these laws, first field theory means electromagnetic field theory is developed. Then to prove that electromagnetic field theory, networks were developed, that is network theory subject is developed to test whether the readings are correct or not. So there is another subject developed that is called measurements, that is also called electrical measurements subject. So this is in brief what is the why should we learn these laws and what subjects were developed for electrical and electronics engineering. And next we go to the who are the people who invented these laws. So for Ohm's law is developed by the G.S. Ohm, means George Simon Ohm, is a German citizen. He is basically physicist and mathematician. And here is Kirchhoff's. His full name is Gustav Kirchhoff. He has a fellow scientist called Bunsen. These two scientists were also belongs to the Germany. They are physicists and mathematicians. Kirchhoff's is responsible for developing the Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. And both these two scientists were found two elements. They are called the rubidium. The other one is cesium element. The purpose of rubidium is for removing the gas traces in vacuum tube, and whereas the purpose of the cesium is to remove the oxygen from bulbs. This is about the inventors of these laws. Next, coming to the laws, Ohm's law. What Ohm's law says? The first condition is temperature of the environment is constant. Means at constant temperature, current flowing in a conductor is directly proportional to the voltage across the conductor. So that is mathematically we can write as V is directly proportional to I. So we can write V is equal to I into R, where R is a constant which we call as resistance, which opposes the flow of current through the conductor. So if you draw the graph between voltage and current like this, we get the we get a straight line passing through the origin like this. The meaning of this is the value of resistance remains the same, means it is just the ratio of voltage and current. Yes, it does not change its value as long as temperature is constant. So let us take a small problem. So let us say we have a voltage source V and connect it to a resistor whose resistance is 10 ohms. So we try to put some voltage first, assign some voltage to this V, and then we change that voltage, and then we find the current. Like that, what is going to happen to the resistor that we observe here? Suppose when the applied voltage is 10 volts, and we know the Ohm's law, that is V is equal to I into R. So we know the resistance, we know the applied voltage, so we can calculate what is the current flowing through this circuit or through the resistor. So that is I is equal to V by R, that is 10 by 10, so we get 1 ampere current. Suppose the supply voltage is changed, instead of 10 volts, we change it 20 volts. Then what is going to happen to the current? So again, current will be V divided by R, that is applied voltage is 20 and resistance is 10 ohms, the current is 2 amperes. So even if you calculate now the resistance, that is nothing but V divided by I, 20 by 2, that is 10 ohms. Earlier it was 10 by 1 ohm, 10 by 1 ampere. So we used to get 10 amperes, 10 ohms. So the value of resistor do not change, even the voltage applied changes. Then coming to the Kirchhoff's current law, what does it say? It says algebraic sum of the currents at any node in an electrical circuit is equal to 0. There is another way of expressing the same law. Sum of the currents entering the node must be equal to the sum of the currents leaving the node. Suppose we draw the diagram, we get like this. This is the node of an electrical circuit. And there are several branches from which current is flowing. So if you observe here properly, so I1 is entering this node here, and I2 is also entering the node here. And I3, I4, I5 are the branch currents which are leaving the node. So as per this Kirchhoff's current law, the other name for this is Kirchhoff's first law. So we find that the sum of the currents entering at the node is equal to the sum of the currents leaving the node. What are the sum of the currents entering the node? That is I1 plus I2. So we get like this, I1 plus I2 is equal to sum of the currents leaving the node. So what are the currents leaving the node? I3, I4 and I5. So we add all those three currents. The same thing we can express in a different fashion, that is algebraic sum of the currents at any node in an electrical circuit is equal to 0. So to apply this definition, we have to use some notation for leaving currents and entering currents. So here I assume the currents leaving the node we take as minus. So that is current entering we take as positive, that is I1 plus I2. So currents leaving minus I3, the I4 is also leaving, so it will get negative sign. Next I5 is also leaving the node, so minus I5 is equal to 0. What did we see there? The algebraic sum of the currents entering at a node, or algebraic sum of the currents at a node in the electrical circuit is 0. So that is what we have applied, and we found that we are getting 0 like this. So example is like this. So let us say we have a hall here. There are two ways. One is special entrance, so through which VIPs goes, and similarly there is a general entrance where general public will go in this path. So there are two paths coming, one coming like this, the other coming like this. People are coming like this, Here also people are coming, and here they are joining, and then they are leaving this room at this junction. So the whatever the number of people entered at this point is equal to the number of people leaving this node. So it is exactly matches with this Kirchhoff's current law definition. And remember here, Kirchhoff's current law is based on the conservation of electric charge. So current is nothing but flow of charge. So charge, whatever charge enters the node, that charge will leave that node. That is the meaning of law of electric charge conservation. Next is Kirchhoff's voltage law. There is another name for this, that is called Kirchhoff's second law. So this law is based on the conservation of electrical energy. So the definition for this KVL is like this. Algebraic sum of the voltages in a closed circuit is equal to 0. There is another way of expressing this same law. Sum of the voltage rises equal to the sum of the voltage drops in the closed circuit. To understand this definition, let us take a circuit like this. So this is the applied voltage called V, and this is one resistor, this is another resistor, this is another resistor, and we are finding closed circuit. So once there is a closed circuit, there will be current flowing from the supply through these elements. So across this resistance, we assume the voltage across this is V1, voltage across this resistance is V2, the voltage across this resistance is V3. So one source, there are three passive elements where we find the voltage drops. For voltage rise in this current direction, current entering the first point, next leaving, if the current entering encounters the negative sign, then positive sign, then we call that as voltage rise. If the current first experience the positive sign of the element and then negative, then we treat that voltage as voltage drop. So taking this notation into account, we can write algebraic sum of the voltages in a closed circuit is equal to 0 like this. V is equal to V1, V minus V1 minus V2 minus V3 is equal to 0. Here V is the supply voltage which we are treating as voltage rise because the current first experienced the negative sign, next positive sign. So going from negative to positive, we take that as voltage rise. So it will get the positive sign, whereas when the current encounters first positive terminal, then negative terminal, we assume that voltage drop, voltage across that element as voltage drop, and we assign for that negative sign. So here this is voltage rise, so V, this is voltage drop, plus 2 minus means voltage drop minus V1. Next here also V2, it's also first plus next negative, so we take negative sign here minus V2, and then again we are finding here positive first next negative, so we get sign for this voltage as negative, that is minus V3 is equal to 0. That is algebraic sum of the voltages around a loop is equal to 0. The same law we can also say in a different fashion. The sum of the voltage rises equal to the sum of the voltage drops in the closed circuit. So how many voltage rises are here? First minus, next positive. So this is voltage rise. So there is only one voltage rise in this circuit. So we put here V is equal. What are the voltage drops? So here first getting positive, next negative, here also plus first, next negative, plus first, next negative. So all these three are voltage drops. So V1 plus V2 plus V3, that is sum of the voltage rises is equal to sum of the voltage drops in the closed circuit. So let me summarize once what we have learned so far. So in this video, we observed that what is the necessity of the Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's current law, Kirchhoff's voltage law, and then what subjects were developed because of these laws, and then we also saw who invented this, and then we studied the definition of Ohm's law, what are the conditions for that. Similarly, we have seen the Kirchhoff's current law definition, which depends on the conservation of electrical charge. Similarly, we have seen Kirchhoff's voltage law, which depends upon the conservation of electrical energy. And we also saw the subjects developed based on these three laws are field theory, network theory, and measurements. Remember here, to learn any other laws, Thevenin's theorem, Intelligence theorem, Norton's theorem, any law, they must use this Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's laws. Without this, we cannot analyze remaining theorems for understanding the circuits.